If you've been told you have osteoporosis or you're worried about it, there's a good chance you've been given outdated advice that could actually be making things worse. Most people think that osteoporosis means avoiding falling and brittle bones. But what if the right type of training could actually reverse osteoporosis and improve bone mineral density? A lot of people don't realize that this is possible. In this video, I'll explain what osteoporosis is and what you need to do to start getting your bones stronger. Osteoporosis isn't just about getting older. It's about your bones not being challenged enough. Osteoporosis is a decrease in bone mineral density, which makes your bones more susceptible to fracture. But here's what most people don't realize. Your bone is a living tissue and it adapts to different loads that your body puts on it. So if you think of your bone like a banking system of your body, and the currency is calcium and other minerals that are required for your body to use for other systems and functions throughout life. Your bone system tends to shed or get rid of that calcium if it's not being used enough. If it's being constantly stimulated, such as through weightlifting exercise of the right kind, it will deposit more bone mineral density, such as calcium ions and other minerals that are going to build up stronger bones. And this is what allows you to avoid potentially getting osteoporosis in the first place, or possibly reverse it if you're already there. Just like muscles grow when you train them, bone gets stronger when exposed to the right load over time. But here's the catch. You have to progressively overload the bone in a way that is stimulating enough. So the problem isn't just aging. It's the lack of the right stimulus over time. Your 20s and 30s determine how strong your bones are going to be for the rest of your life, and most people don't realize it. As you are growing, as your skeletal body is maturing, as you can see in this chart, that is when bone mineral density reaches its peak in your 20s into 30. And the more active you are, the more impact activity that you do, the more strength exercises that you do, the higher this bone density is going to be, and the less of a fall off you will have over time. What this chart doesn't show is at the end, as you can see, especially in postmenopausal women, as this really drops down, if those individuals are more active with strength training and have proper nutrition, there is less of a sharp drop off and can even be partially reversed if they do the proper exercise. Before we dive into the specifics on the type of strength training that's required, I want to go over a few common misbeliefs about exercise and osteoporosis. Although walking is great for your health, it's not enough to improve bone mineral density alone. A lot of people are told by their doctors or therapists that they can just go walk more, do more yoga, take group classes at their YMCA and their Silver Sneakers programs, and just do whatever they feel like for exercise, and that's going to improve their bone density. And then they wonder why 6 and 12 months later, when they've done that and made some dietary changes, that their bone mineral density scores are not changing on their DEXA scans. In reality, walking is not enough to actually change the bone mineral density in your bones. It's a stimulus that is something that we all do every day, and even just increasing your steps isn't enough. Your bones need actual load through resistance training, and that load needs to be enough for your body to realize there's stress being put on that bone, not so much that it's going to cause risk for injury, but enough that that bone is going to realize we need to be stronger. We're going to lay down more layers. We're going to deposit more calcium and more minerals into that bone to make it stronger. The only exercise that has been proven to do that is specifically resistance training or weightlifting. And I'm not talking about your Silver Sneakers program where you're just using 2-pound dumbbells to do shoulder exercises and balance exercises. Although those are great for your overall health, they are not going to change your bone mineral density, and they're not enough. Higher intensity resistance training and impact training are what actually improve bone density and make your bones stronger. If your bones aren't being challenged, they're not getting stronger. The biggest mistake people make with osteoporosis: avoiding lifting weights. They tend to think that their bones are too fragile to lift weights and that they're going to injure themselves. And although that can be true, if you are not ready for doing so, this is not something you should be doing on your own. And in general, is recommended that you're working with a trained, supervised person that is taking you through a program to improve your strength specific for your bone density, because it is challenging exercise, for one, to make sure you're doing it safely to not injure yourself. And two, it needs to be monitored to make sure it's actually the right intensity. Most people tend to severely underdose themselves and don't make it challenging enough because they're too scared to do so, and they don't know how to do so alone or safely. In these research trials that I'm referencing earlier, they often take people through this resistance training program that is specified for osteoporosis needs, and then take people through low intensity, low impact, and lightweight exercise and look at the differences afterwards. And there's significantly more changes in bone mineral density in the group that go through progressive structured strength training that is specified to osteoporosis improvements. Avoiding load and avoiding strength training exercise doesn't protect your bones, it weakens them. Not all strength training improves bone mineral density. Lighter weights, higher repetitions, resistance bands, balance exercises, while all great and have their place in physical activity routines, they're not what are going to change your bone mineral density or reverse that osteoporosis. To actually improve your bone mineral density, you need higher resistance, some impact training, and guided progression over time. Research shows that the intensity of exercise is the most important thing with improving bone mineral density. So make sure you're not just hoping that the exercise class that you're attending or the program that you found online is going to be enough. Posture changes that you often see in people with osteoporosis that have a rounded upper back are not just a part of age. They're often actually preventable. With osteoporosis, people worry about spinal fractures and whether or not they're going to go down that road, but they oftentimes avoid higher intensity exercise because they think that is what is going to cause those fractures. In reality, that is actually what's going to help prevent them because it improves your bone mineral density, improves your strength, and improves your posture to avoid that from happening in the first place. Strong bones really help support that upright posture and make sure that you are not progressing towards a higher risk of fall or a higher risk of fracture. So we've been talking a lot about how exercise and progressive resistance training can really help improve your bone mineral density and potentially even reverse or prevent osteoporosis from occurring. While resistance exercise is very important, it is not the only thing that needs to be focused on. Nutrition is just as an important component as resistance training when it comes to managing and preventing osteoporosis and bone mineral density. Improving your calcium intake, as well as things like vitamin D and making sure you're getting sufficient protein while you're going through a resistance training program like this for your body to actually be able to deposit more bone, recover well, improve strength, and improve muscle is just as important. Oftentimes, people don't eat enough, they're not getting enough of these minerals in their diet, or they're really not sure where to begin. And that's where working with a dietitian can be really helpful to assure that you're getting the right type of nutrients in all of your meals and you're getting enough throughout the entire day as well. And you are recovered enough to support that strength training program, to build up that bone bank, and to really improve your bone mineral density over time. If you only take one thing away from this video, let it be that osteoporosis is not just something that you can manage, it's something that you can improve and potentially even prevent if you're not there yet. You don't need to avoid movement and weightlifting, you just need to learn how to do it in the right way. Download our free guide, The Beginner's Guide to Strength Training with Osteoporosis, to learn a little bit more about the type of training that's required, as well as to see if you're ready to undergo a program like this. Make sure you drop your questions below in the comments so I can answer them, and subscribe so that you don't miss future updates.